Second here, bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we are going to be taking a look at INT Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's Super EZA. I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about this guy. You know, some of the Super EZAs that we've had lately, Buuhan, Cell, have been incredibly good. I was interested when I saw his passive, what kind of numbers we could get him up to. So obviously remember, with the Super EZA, none of his super attacks change, but he does greatly raise attack, raise defense for 1 turn on the 18 key, and he raises defense for 1 turn on the 12 key. But when we take a look at his new Super EZA passive, defense 258, changes tech key spheres to int, randomly changes key spheres of a different type, so not tech or int, to rainbow. So he's creating a bunch of orbs from himself and the rainbow orbs to like path them all together. Gets an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained, and then he gives super class allies attack and defense 40%. So that even in and of itself is pretty good, right? Because if he ends up being good enough of a unit that you can just kind of throw on teams, you could have him being a floating 3rd slot unit and giving everybody 40% attack and defense. Because obviously this guy is not going to be a slot 1 unit. He's going to get all of his stuff when he attacks. When there's an extreme class enemy, he debuffs the enemy's defense 40% and has a 40% chance to dodge. When he's attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 158% defense. And then for every key sphere obtained, he gets 50% attack. If we get 3 or more orbs, he gets an extra 158% buff and a 50% crit chance and 50% damage reduction. If we get 7 orbs, he gets another 158% and another 50% chance to crit. So obviously that stacks with the 3 orbs. So if he gets 7 orbs, he just gets guaranteed crits. So I redid the hidden potential for mine, so he has no crit in his hidden potential, because as long as you're getting 7 orbs, he's just getting a crit anyway. And then 10 orbs and 15 orbs both give him an extra 158% attack as well. When HP is 58% or less, starting from the 4th turn, he gets a 1-time change all the orbs to int and an extra 30% damage reduction, which I think is a good design, because if you're starting the turn on low HP and he changes the whole orb field, obviously as a nuker you want him to pick up all the orbs, so they've basically given him some extra slot 1 defense, because then obviously you pick up the 23 orbs, that gives you the 50% damage reduction from his 3 or more orbs thing. So that means he has 80% damage reduction in slot 1 on the turn where he then gets to pick up those 23 orbs. So we've got him set up here. We're on the Vegito team, so he gets the full 220 to stats, because of course he's an earth protecting hero and an earthbred fighter. We've got a decent setup. He was on turn 2, but we can use Tech Broly in slot 1, who obviously can't attack, and then we can get 12 orbs here. So we're basically getting everything for him except for the final 15 or more orbs obtained. So let's go ahead and see what we can get here with the 12 orbs. Got 4 links active. Let's grab those and let's see what we get. So obviously Tech Broly is just going to tank everything. $34 million. Okay, interesting. Obviously we get guaranteed crit. Now the thing is, obviously he doesn't have any built-in additional, so he's doing that 1 big attack. I was honestly expecting a little bit more than that, mainly because if you think about one of the units that I kind of likened him to when I first read his details, it was like, oh okay, so he's kind of like Tech EZA Broly, right, where he isn't necessarily the best defensively, but you know, he's going to get these big attack stats off. But realistically, that 34 million, you think about, like, this is why, I guess, why people are not super hot on this Gohan Super EZA, because unfortunately they made a mistake when they Super EZA'd Buuhan and made him as insanely good as they did. Because, like, Buuhan on a turn with 12 orbs is hitting, like, at least 40 to 50 million, right? And he then gets a guaranteed additional super. And depending on how many rainbow orbs you picked up, so on that turn with that Gohan for the 12 orbs, we got 4 rainbows. That means Buuhan is getting guaranteed crit on that turn as well, because he gets 100 and, what is it, like 123, 140, 132, something like that. Whatever 33 times 3 is. 4 even. It's 132, right? 132% chance to crit. So on that same sort of turn with like 12 orbs, Buuhan hits harder than Gohan and does a guaranteed second attack. Now in terms of defense, I need to take a proper look at him again on the next turn. See what his, because he's got the 40% dodge chance, which is, you know, it's okay. 40%, not something you would necessarily rely on. But yeah, 99% is if you get 3 rainbow orbs. So that means it's basically guaranteed crit. I don't think I've had a single turn where I've got 3 rainbow orbs with Buuhan and he hasn't crit, right? Because it's like 99% chance. Although this is the annoying thing, is that with Gohan starting on turn 2. Okay, so on this turn we can get a few more links active here, and we've got the support from Hercule. So start of turn defense 367, which is not crazy. Now obviously when we pick up the orbs, he doesn't actually get any extra defense per orb obtained or anything like that, right? So how many orbs can we get here? 11. So we get 11 orbs on this turn. Obviously his defense doesn't change. We are going to get 158% defense when attacking. So even that's not really that crazy, because he goes from what? He's got 367, 391 plus 158%. So he goes up to 947k defense. So he's got just under 1 million defense. And then he raises defense with his super attack effect as well. So to be fair, his 18 key is greatly raised defense for 1 turn, which is like 30%. So that's another like 100k or 100-ish. So yeah, he's at like 1.1-ish. And then yeah, he has damage reduction. He has a little bit of damage reduction, 50%, and then a 40% chance to dodge. Neither of those numbers are high enough to be super crazy. Because like if he gets hit with a 3 million damage super, it's what, 3 million damage minus 50%. If he doesn't dodge it with the 40% chance to dodge, it's 1.5 million. His defense is like 1.1. If it's an extreme class enemy that does more damage to super characters, then, because obviously he gets buffs against extreme class, he's going to be taking like 500k plus from a 3 million damage super, which is kind of the what we're seeing now from these like end bosses, right? So let's see what we get here. We got 11 orbs. We got the support from Hercule, because obviously he's a 50% attack and defense support for Earth protecting heroes. Yeah, 34 mil. I feel like Buuhan gets to like 34 mil when you get like 6 orbs. It's like 6 or 7 orbs. And obviously, I guess like with big bad bosses as well, right? Because that's what you ideally want for INT Buuhan. But yeah, I mean, he's not, I wouldn't say he's necessarily bad, but he's just like, he's not doing anything particularly crazy. I'll try and make sure we're not doing loads of damage so we can just keep getting the Gohan showcased. So we'll put you into the standby. Do this. I'm not going to fuse, so we'll just exchange and then get a defense stack here. The orb changing is not great for this this turn either. Yeah, it'll be interesting to try out Cell and see like how they compare, because obviously Cell, from reading his passive, seems very, very similar to Buuhan. But yeah, I mean, we've seen Buuhan with a big field of orbs getting to like, you know, 50, 60 million. So it's one of those things where it's going to be hard to get, because the team that we're showcasing him on is obviously pretty good. But like, we would like to, if possible, drop below the HP threshold to get that full orb field turn. But yeah, that's the thing, is I guess this is why we joke about like Buuhan being a mistake, right? Because every other EZA is just going to be judged on his performance now. And yeah, unfortunately, like he, with the same number of orbs, seemingly will just always do more damage than this Gohan. We've got 10 orbs this turn. We've got a bit of attack support from the Vegeta. The only problem I can see with Texel is that he gets buffs for like superclass enemies, which in the current meta, we don't really have a lot of, like, the difficult fights are not against superclass enemies. Because like the new blue zone stages are very easy in comparison to the into the red zone and like battle hardened foes and stuff like that. So that is obviously one advantage for Gohan, having the buff against extreme class. I do think, like with the Vegito team as well, bearing in mind that on this team, if we were going for just trying to win the event and not showcase a character here or anything, we could obviously run Vegito's team with Gogeta on it. And then we've obviously got Gohan. You can have Beast on the team. Like if you were throwing Gohan on the team as a floating support to give 40% attack and defense, he's on a team with like multiple characters that have team protection abilities. If you throw like Tech Gogeta on, you have a unit that can get a scouter fairly early. So as long as he's not getting tagged by like a slot 3 super, he could be pretty good on the team just as that floating support. Because I guess the problem is with the orb changing is you don't really want nuking units to be floating, because obviously they then are not getting a decent amount of orbs. Although realistically he's not really getting any defense from the orbs. So if he is just there to be a support, at least he is a support that can hit relatively hard, and then post supering, you know, still has like 1,000,000 defense and 50% damage reduction. For a support unit, that is quite good. So I think it's one of those weird things, like if you look at him as a support unit, he's like really good in compared to a lot of other support units. If you look at him as a, like, you know, oh yeah, I want to put him on the team and he's going to be one of the best units on the team, like he doesn't really live up to that sort of thing, right? But I could see him like being on this team. Just you chuck him on as a slot 3 float. Would I use him over the Hercule? I mean, Hercule, I guess Hercule doesn't necessarily rely on dodge depending on his like build up and stuff, but they're both going to get killed if they get hit by a big boss super attack. But yeah, he just seems like he could be a good unit to throw on for buffing the super class, because Hercule only supports the specific typing, right? Whereas Gohan supports all superclass. So I feel like he could be a good unit to just throw on the team as a floating support. Like I say, as long as he's not getting hit with a super, like, he's going to be fine. So, but obviously then you get turns like this, which are not ideal. I mean, to be fair, we've managed to get a fairly decent average. I don't think we've gotten less than 10 orbs yet. And then yeah, my Broly does have 2 dupes, but I don't know. He probably won't kill him here. He only gets the 170 lead from the Tech Vegeos, because I want Gohan to get the chance to attack as much as possible. Problem is, we're just not going to see in a lot of these difficult events. You're getting the 50, having him drop below the HP threshold, and it's on the specific certain turn as well. It's going to be difficult. But yeah, we did see Gohan get an additional super in the previous turn. He did, what was it, like 34 odd for his 18 key, and then it was like 24 for the additional, which, I mean, it's not bad, but again, like, it's one of those things that sucks to keep comparing them, but like, Buuhan gets a guaranteed additional that is just the exact same attack stat, depending on which super it is, because obviously the Ghost Kamehameha does more. But yeah, in terms of like, when it comes to teams that Buuhan is on, most of the time you're just gonna throw him on the team, because it makes sense for him to be on that team, right? I think I'll just do this. We won't bother using the Kamehameha because obviously we want to get another turn in with Gohan. Let me just double check again. It is Tech Orbs, right? So yeah, so we'll try and save Tech Orbs on the field. Tech and INT if possible. There we go. Should be a pretty good orb change for Gohan. But yeah, it'll be funny to try out Tech Cell, like I say, because he is very similar to Buuhan. Their passives are very, very similar. So yeah, I could see him being better. This works out well for us as well for not dealing too much damage to Buu, because Gohan can't attack, and then Beast Gohan just got sealed by Kid Buu. So... But yeah, we'll get this last turn in here with Gohan, and then that'll be it for because we've not really seen him. We've seen a very consistent number of orbs being picked up, so we're seeing a similar sort of attack stat each time. We haven't even gotten to 40 mil, and unfortunately, you know, with this team, like I say, even with events that are tougher, we're not taking the damage that we need to take in order to get the full nuke turn. And I mean, that will happen in some events, right? Like, it just takes the wrong unit getting hit, and then, you know, it's going to be fine. But he needs to drop to... We need to be at 58% or less. It's only from turn 4, so it's not like the hardest thing in the world to get, but... Yeah, so we can get 12, and we got the support this time as well. I think this is the highest number of orbs with the support. Won't hit the nodes here for Broly. Well, he's going to get sealed anyway. So that means Gohan's going to get the Dokkan attack now. Alright, so let's see. What is Gohan going to do here on this last turn for him? Dokkan attack, support from Hercule, 12 orbs. Yeah, 35 million. That just feels so low again. Like, I know it sucks, like I say, to keep comparing them rather than... Because looking at Gohan for his strengths, like, he seems pretty good. But to compare them to a Super EZA from earlier in the same celebration, I think is fair. Buuhan with 12 orbs and 50% support. That's when we're talking about like a 50 million turn or something, right? And then he gets a guaranteed additional that does that as well. Yeah, the additional 12 key doing 26. So he hit what, like 60 in total? Which again, as I said earlier, if you, rather than comparing him to Buuhan, if you look at him as like, oh, you know, I could throw him on my superclass team and he's providing everyone 40% attack and defense. Oh, good work, Hercule. He's providing everyone 40% attack and defense whilst also dropping like a 34 million attack stat. Like, then he seems like he's pretty decent. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things and like the overall landscape of the anniversary EZAs and super EZAs, I would say that he does seem a little bit disappointing for sure. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What would you have done to make him better? I think he could be usable for sure as a support, but I know that's probably not what a lot of people wanted him to be. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.